Have you ever wondered why you repeat the same mistakes, fear what you desire, or feel lost without knowing why? If Stoicism teaches calm in the storm, psychology reveals where the storm begins. On Psyche Lab 2, we explore Carl Jung, Viktor Frankl, Freud, Adler, trauma healing, and the unconscious mind, turning insight into transformation. New videos every day at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. If you've ever felt there's more beneath the surface, search Psyche Lab 2 or click the link below. I'll see you there.
Build a mind so strong that no one can break you. That's the goal. Not to impress others, not to look tough, but to be steady, calm in chaos, clear in pressure, unshaken when life gets loud. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming anchored. Because when your mind is trained, the world loses its power to control you. In this message, you'll learn habits that protect your peace, sharpen your thinking, and make your strength quiet, but undeniable. Don't just listen once, come back to this. Let it guide your mornings, reset your focus, and shape how you show up every day. If this speaks to you, share it with someone who needs it. And drop a comment below. Still unbreakable. That one line is enough, no overthinking. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. We're building something powerful here. Now let's begin. 1. Train your mind daily before the world trains it for you. Every morning, you wake up with a blank slate, but before you've even stood up, something grabs it. You reach for your phone, and just like that, your peace is gone. News headlines shouting fear, messages demanding answers. Social media shows you who's better, faster, richer. In those first 5 minutes, without even realizing it, your mind has been hijacked. You didn't get to choose your thoughts. The world chose them for you. That's why building mental strength doesn't start with a crisis. It starts with how you wake up. It starts with what you let in and what you don't. Think of your mind like a muscle. If you don't train it, it will weaken. If you don't shape it, it will be shaped by noise, by pressure, by the moods and expectations of everyone but you. And once that happens, you're not living from your own center. You're reacting to life like a puppet on strings. The world becomes your coach, and not a kind one. It pushes you to compare, to rush, to doubt yourself. But here's the truth most people ignore. You don't need to win the morning. You just need to claim it. You don't need a perfect routine. What you need is a conscious pause, a moment where you decide who you're going to be that day. That pause could be 2 minutes of silence before touching your phone. It could be writing one line in a notebook. Today, I choose calm. Or today, I don't explain myself. It could be standing still and breathing, looking out the window, reminding yourself that not every urgency is your emergency. These small practices, simple, quiet, often invisible, are what train the mind. Not once, but daily. They build identity through action. They rewire your reactions, and over time they form the shield that keeps the chaos out there from becoming chaos in here. But let's be honest, no one is going to clap for you when you do this. There's no audience when you resist the urge to scroll. No medal for choosing silence over stress. And that's the point. Training your mind is not about performance. It's about ownership. And the more you show up for it, the more unshakable you become. The goal is not to escape discomfort or avoid challenge. The goal is to make sure your mind doesn't crumble when life gets loud, because it will. There will be days when people test your patience, when pressure piles on, when disappointment hits hard. But if you've trained, not once in a while but every day, you won't be at the mercy of those moments. You'll meet them from a grounded place, calm, clear, in control. So the question is this: are you training your mind or letting the world train it for you? Because one of those paths builds strength, and the other breaks it down. Choose the quiet repetition. Choose the practice that no one sees. That's how you build a mind so strong no one can break you. 2. Control what you feed your mind. It becomes your reality. What you feed your mind is what you become. It's that simple. Just like your body reacts to what you eat, your thoughts and identity are shaped by what you allow into your head. Every word, every image, every sound. The problem is, most people are careful with what they put on their plate, but careless with what they put in their mind. They scroll through chaos, absorb bitterness, and call it just passing time. But over time, That time becomes a mirror. Your beliefs, your fears, your worldview. And most of it wasn't yours to begin with. It was planted by repetition. That's how your reality is shaped. Not by facts, but by what your mind sees the most. If you start your day watching negativity, arguments, and complaints, your mind will soak it in like a sponge. And once soaked, it will repeat those thoughts back to you. Not because they're true, but because that's what it was trained to believe. I've seen people destroy their peace without ever leaving their house, just by the content they consumed before breakfast. One man I know started his mornings watching toxic videos about relationships. Within weeks, he began to think love was a lie, people were fake, and trust was weakness. Not because anyone betrayed him, but because he kept feeding his mind poison disguised as truth. Your brain doesn't always distinguish between reality and repetition. If you hear it enough, you start to believe it, and the most dangerous lies are the ones you tell yourself, unknowingly, every day. That's why protecting your mind must become a habit, not just something you do when things go wrong. You have to choose what gets in. If not, anything will. Think of your mind like a clear glass. If you pour dirty water in every day, don't expect it to be clean when you need clarity. That dirt comes in the form of angry content, gossip, self-doubt, mindless scrolling, and comparison. It pollutes your clarity, fogs your decision-making, and distorts your emotional self-control. But here's the good news. Just as you can feed your mind junk, you can also feed it strength. Start by asking one question each morning. What do I want to plant in my mind today? Because every input is a seed, and those seeds grow into mood, into action, into habit, into life. Choose wisely. Feed it thoughts that reinforce calm, not chaos. Listen to voices that sharpen your focus, not dull it. Read things that build your character, not break your spirit. And when you find yourself drifting, pause. Ask yourself, is this what I want to become? Because eventually, you will. We live in a noisy world, but the power is still yours. You don't have to absorb every notification, every headline, every voice. You can mute what doesn't serve you. You can unsubscribe from drama. You can say no to low-quality input. That's not ignorance, it's discipline. And that discipline builds a mind that sees clearly when others are confused, that chooses peace when others spiral, that moves with intent when others react. That's how you create your reality. Not by force, but by focus. Feed your mind with power, and power is what you become. 3. Never react. Respond with power. Real power doesn't shout, rush, or explode. It pauses, it sees clearly, and it chooses. That's the difference between a reactive mind and a powerful one. Most people walk through life like live wires. One insult, one stressful moment, one trigger, and they explode. They believe reacting fast makes them strong. But in truth, the strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't flinch, the one who watches, absorbs, waits, then speaks with clarity, not chaos. This lesson isn't just philosophy, it's the foundation of emotional self-control and personal power. Because reacting is instinct, but responding? That's discipline. I remember nearly destroying a friendship because of a message I didn't even fully read. My mind jumped to conclusions, emotions took over, and I sent back words I couldn't take back. Not because I was bad, but because I was untrained. No one had taught me that the space between stimulus and response is where strength lives. That moment, when your heart pounds, your ego feels attacked, your anger rises, is exactly when most people give away their power. But if you can breathe through that, if you can hold your tongue, steady your mind, and choose your response, you shift everything. You see, we live in a culture that rewards speed. The faster you reply, the more real you seem. The louder you speak, the more people assume you're confident. But true confidence, real emotional strength, has no urgency. It doesn't need to prove anything. It waits, watches, and strikes only when necessary. Like a master archer, it doesn't release the arrow out of impulse, but out of intention. That's the mental toughness you're building, where your mood doesn't belong to other people, where your day doesn't collapse because of someone else's chaos, where you stop overreacting and start responding with power. And if you've made it this far in this message, I see something in you. This isn't surface-level advice. It's not designed for quick fixes or trendy sound bites. It's for those who are ready to train their mind daily, to choose response over reaction, clarity over noise, presence over panic. Because the more you practice this, the more unshakable you become. Your silence will stop fights before they start. Your calm will confuse chaos. Your stillness will become your greatest strength. So next time life throws a sharp word, a tough moment, or an emotional storm at you, pause. Don't speak to defend. Don't act to prove. Let your silence gather strength. Let your thoughts settle. And then from that still place, respond. Maybe with a word. Maybe with a decision. Maybe with nothing at all. Because sometimes power is in the words you don't say. Sometimes control is in the reaction you never give. That's how you become mentally resilient. Not by being untouchable, but by being unmoved. You're not here to be triggered. You're here to be trained. And the more you hold that space between impulse and action, the more you reclaim yourself. That's the mindset that can't be broken. Not by people, not by pressure, not by life. So build it, protect it, and let the world wonder how you stayed so calm while everything else was on fire. 4. Your struggles are your gym. Lift them. Every day, life puts weights on your shoulders, not to break you, but to build you. The moments that frustrate you, delay you, or even disappoint you are not accidents. They're your gym, your daily workout for the mind. But most people miss this. They think their struggles mean something's wrong, that life is against them, that they're unlucky. When in fact, these small, invisible battles are the exact reps that build your mental strength, emotional control, and inner discipline. You don't grow when things go your way. You grow when you're tested. Think about it. The days when you get stuck in traffic, your child throws a tantrum, your boss criticizes your work unfairly, those aren't just bad days. They're heavyweights for your emotional discipline. And every time you resist the urge to explode, every time you stay calm when no one else does, every time you choose control over chaos, you're lifting, you're training, you're building the kind of self-trust and inner peace that doesn't depend on everything going right. This mindset shift is everything. Most people react to life like it's personal, as if life is attacking them. But life is neutral. It throws tests to see what you've trained for. The stronger you want your mind to be, the more resistance you have to face. A weak mind demands comfort. A strong mind embraces challenge because it understands that mental toughness is built through discomfort, not ease. And this is where most people give up, right before their breakthrough. They mistake resistance for rejection. But it's not rejection. It's refinement. You don't become emotionally grounded by avoiding stress. You become grounded by going through it without letting it change your center. Just like muscles grow by pushing against tension, your mind grows when it pushes against pressure. And no, this isn't about being perfect or pretending nothing affects you. It's about seeing every struggle as training, not punishment. That difference changes everything. When you start treating your life like a gym, every difficult person becomes a sparring partner. Every setback becomes a drill. Every hard morning becomes a chance to strengthen your discipline. And the truth is, the strongest people you know, the ones who seem unshakable, they've been through more than you can imagine. But what sets them apart isn't what they've faced, it's how they trained through it. They chose to show up every day, to stay calm when disrespected, to stay focused when overlooked, to keep moving when it hurt. Because they knew something most people forget. If you avoid the weight, you avoid the strength. And without strength, you're at the mercy of everything. So stop asking for life to be easier. Start asking for the strength to face it better. The more you lift your struggles instead of avoiding them, the more you condition your mind to respond with calm, focus, and strategy. You don't need less pain, you need a stronger frame. And that frame is built right here, right now, in the middle of everything that's testing you. Pick up the weight, breathe, lift again. This is your gym. Train like your peace depends on it, because it does. 5. Build discipline when no one's cheering. Real discipline isn't built when people are clapping for you. It's built in silence, when no one's watching, when no one cares, and when even you question if it matters. That's the truth most people never want to face. They wait for external validation to begin, hoping that applause will push them through. But the strongest discipline is forged in the shadows, not the spotlight. It's what you do when the room is empty, The morning is cold, and quitting feels justified. And yet, you show up. There's a friend of mine who once told me, I started waking up early and running not because I loved it, but because I was tired of being disappointed in myself. No camera, no followers, no motivation quotes. Just a man versus his own pattern of procrastination. 30 days later, even his reflection couldn't recognize him. And it wasn't because he trained harder than anyone else. It's because he trained when no one else bothered to care. That's what most people miss. They think self-discipline is about big moves. But the truth is, it's a series of small, quiet, boring choices that no one will ever celebrate. It's brushing your teeth when you're exhausted. It's finishing the last 5 minutes of your workout when your legs are burning. It's choosing kindness when irritation is easier. These moments seem insignificant, but they shape the foundation of your identity. Every quiet win adds weight to your integrity, and over time, that weight becomes unshakable. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not something you post. It's the decision to organize your life even when chaos feels more familiar. It's the habit of doing what needs to be done, especially when the only one holding you accountable is you. That's why so many people quit, because they were chasing attention, not transformation. When the likes stop, their effort stops too. But the ones who keep going, they've shifted from chasing to becoming. They aren't waiting to feel motivated. They've wired themselves to act anyway. This is where power lives, not in loud performances, but in consistent private victories. Every time you resist the urge to procrastinate, to overthink, to escape, your self-respect grows. And it's this self-respect that creates freedom, because once you can trust yourself to show up without being pushed, you become unstoppable. The world no longer dictates your pace. Your inner rhythm does, and that rhythm is trained, not found. Don't confuse silence for failure. Just because no one sees your effort doesn't mean it's not transforming you. In fact, the most important changes often happen when no one is looking. Like water carving stone, quiet discipline shapes a mind that can't be broken. One day, people will call you consistent, reliable, and strong. But you'll know better. You'll know it was built from years of quiet repetition, when no one cheered and you showed up anyway. So next time you feel invisible, remember this: the most powerful version of you is being built right now in the quiet. Keep showing up, keep lifting, even when no one's counting. Your discipline is your freedom, and no one can take it from you. 6. Protect your energy. Not every battle deserves a response. There will always be something trying to pull you off course: a rude comment, a disrespectful glance, a pointless argument waiting to erupt. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire day reacting to things that don't deserve your energy. The truth is, a strong mind doesn't engage in every battle. It learns to choose its battlefield with intention. Just because someone throws a punch doesn't mean you have to swing back. Just because someone barks doesn't mean you need to bark louder. A wise man once told me, "Racehorses don't stop to kick barking dogs." That line stayed with me because I realized I had been exhausting myself trying to win every little war. You don't need to prove your strength in petty exchanges. True strength is restraint. It's silent when provoked, clear when misunderstood, and peaceful when chaos wants a reaction. A reactive mind chases everything that moves. A disciplined mind stays grounded in what truly matters. And that grounding doesn't come from passivity. It comes from control. Not control over others, but over yourself. That's real emotional discipline. That's how inner peace is built. Not by fixing the world, but by protecting your energy from what drains it. Many people burn out not because they are weak, but because they are constantly fighting unnecessary battles. They respond to every slight, correct every fool, defend every opinion, and try to win approval from people who are never going to understand them anyway. But when you develop a strong internal compass, you begin to see clearly. Not every opinion matters, not every confrontation is worth it, and not every attack requires a counterstrike. Your energy is currency. Spend it wisely, because while you're reacting, you're not creating. While you're fighting shadows, you're losing time you could have invested in becoming better, stronger, calmer. There's power in not responding, in letting things pass without letting them penetrate your mind. This is not about weakness. It's about direction. A strong man doesn't lose his path because someone shouted from the sidelines. He keeps walking. He knows that attention is fuel, and some fires don't deserve to burn. You don't have to lower yourself to be understood. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're weak because you didn't clap back. They don't know what it takes to stay silent. They don't know what it means to value your focus over your pride. Sometimes, silence is not submission. It's a strategy. Because a calm mind makes sharper decisions than a triggered one. And if you want real power, not performance, you need to protect your mental space like it's sacred ground. Let others waste their breath. You conserve yours. Let others wrestle for validation. You build self-respect through calm control. The more you choose peace over ego, the more unstoppable you become. So the next time you feel tempted to argue, to respond, to correct, pause. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week? A month? Will it build me or break me? If the answer is no, walk away, not out of fear, but out of mastery. Because your peace isn't a reaction, it's a decision. And only those who protect their energy can rise above the noise. That's not retreat, that's a command. 7. Become so rooted that nothing can shake you. Imagine a tree standing in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, branches bend, some may even snap, leaves scatter, but the tree doesn't fall because its roots run deep. That's what it means to be grounded. And in your life, storms will come. Criticism, rejection, uncertainty, chaos, none of it can be avoided. But whether you break or stand still depends on one thing: how deeply you are rooted in who you are. So many people walk through life like leaves in the wind, blown around by every comment, every setback, every shift in approval. One bad day, one wrong word, and they're questioning everything. Not because they're weak, but because they haven't planted their roots. When your identity depends on likes, applause, or outside validation, you'll always be on edge. One moment you feel high, the next you crash. But if your identity is built from the inside out, on values, not opinions, you become immovable. You don't ride the emotional roller coaster of praise and criticism. You watch it pass, and that takes work. Because rooting yourself means choosing discomfort over popularity. It means saying, this is what I stand for, even when it costs you. It means building emotional self-control, not to be numb, but to stay stable. You stop chasing applause and start becoming someone you respect. That's where inner peace begins. Not in external calm, but in internal clarity. You know who you are. You know what matters. So you stop negotiating your identity to be liked. You stop explaining yourself to people who've already made up their minds. And slowly, you feel something powerful: detachment. Not from life, but from the noise. The truth is, you don't need to win people over. You need to win yourself back. When you root your mind in purpose and principles, you don't overreact to small things. You stay calm, not because life is easy, but because your mindset is unshakable. When others panic, you stay centered. When others fight for validation, you move with intention. You trust your decisions. You listen more than you speak. You act from strength, not impulse. That's not arrogance, it's alignment. You're not detached because you don't care. You're detached because you care more about peace than performance. Your roots go beneath the surface. You're not seeking approval, you're seeking clarity. You're not proving your worth, you're living it. And when you walk that way, the world can't control you. Not with insults, not with praise. Because you've already chosen what defines you. So build those roots. Build them through daily habits that train your discipline, through morning routines that reset your mind, through actions that align with your highest values, not your fleeting emotions. Because the more consistent you are with yourself, the less you need anything from anyone else. That's the foundation of mental toughness. That's the birth of true inner peace. And when the storm comes, and it will, you won't have to force calm. You'll already be calm. Because you didn't just prepare for the storm, you became the kind of person who can stand in the middle of it and not be moved. That's power. That's growth. That's what it means to be deeply rooted. The strength of your mind shapes the strength of your life. Every moment you choose discipline over distraction, stillness over reaction, clarity over chaos, you're building something no one can break. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about showing up daily with purpose, protecting your energy, and staying grounded no matter what comes your way. When you train your mind to obey you, you stop being a victim of emotions and start living with intention. You attract peace, not noise. You act, not react. And over time, you become unshakable. If this message spoke to you, share your story in the comments below. What challenges have shaped your mindset? What habits keep you grounded? Your words might inspire someone else. And if you found value here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful daily mindset training. Remember, your greatest strength isn't what you show. It's what you build in silence. Keep going.